Okay, so I think lots of people have joined. So without any delay, I'll start with this webinar. So I'll just, okay. So good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this insightful webinar on AI in attack simulation. We are thrilled to have you all here as we deep dive into how artificial intelligence is revolutionizing the cybersecurity landscape. My name is Amit, and I'll be your host for today's session. We have an exciting discussion lined up with a cybersecurity expert who has hands on experience in security testing, red teaming, and digital forensics. So get ready for a knowledge packed session. In today's session, we will explore how AI driven attack simulation is transforming the way organizations identify and mitigate cyber threats. We'll cover key challenges such as evolving cyber threats, hidden vulnerabilities, and the limitations of manual security testing. Our expert speaker will provide insights into how AI-powered solutions enhance threat validation, simulate real-world attack, and improve overall security posture. Before we deep dive into the session, here are a few housekeeping points. This is a 45 minutes webinar, including a dedicated Q&A session at the end. And yeah, feel free to ask any questions that you have in the chat box at any time, and we'll address them during the quick Q&A session. This session is being recorded, and the recording will be provided with all attendees post-webinar. Before we introduce our speaker and start with the presentation, I would like to take a moment to talk about Metionic Innovation and our partnership with Cymulate. Metionic Innovation is dedicated to providing cutting-edge DevSecOps and cybersecurity solutions, helping organizations strengthen their security posture. Metionic specializes in cybersecurity, offering 35 plus cutting-edge tools across vulnerability management, application security, cloud security, compliance management, security hardening, and more. In short, we can say we have all the verticals covered. As an esteemed technical partner of Cymulate, we bring advanced breach and attack simulation tools to businesses, enabling them to continuously validate their security defenses against evolving threats. Through this collaboration, we help organizations proactively identify vulnerabilities and enhance their resilience against cyber attacks. In today's session, we will cover how AI is being used to attackers to bypass security measures, the importance of AI-driven attack simulation in identifying hidden vulnerabilities, addressing the limitations of manual security testing through AI automation. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce our distinguished speaker, Mr. Ranjit Mewada. Ranjit is a result-driven information security analyst with over 5 years of expertise in security testing, red teaming, and digital forensics. He has successfully delivered multiple security projects across India and abroad, earning accolades for his analytical skills and hands-on approach. His expertise spans penetration testing, vulnerabilities assessment, network exploitation, DDoS simulations, and cloud security audits. Apart from his technical acumen, Ranjit is passionate about mentoring and team building, training security professionals, and automating security process for efficiency. Without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Ranjit Mewada. So, Ranjit, the platform is all yours.
Hey, thank you, Amit. I'll just share my screen. Give me a moment. All right. Okay. So my name is Ranjit Mewada. I'm a technical director at Cymulate. So today I can help medium to large scale organization in terms in terms of, just a moment, I think I'm getting some error. Amit, can you hear me?
I think your screen is not visible and we cannot hear you. Okay, there is some technical issue, I believe. So, before we start with the presentation, I hope everyone is doing great. And in a minute or so, we'll start the session, resume this again, right? So we'll continue with the people. Lots of new people have joined. So I would request everyone who have joined in this few minutes, please let me know from where you are. Okay, we have Sanjay from Mumbai. Great.
Amit, can you hear me?
Arun from Delhi.
Am I audible, guys?
Yes, yes.
Uh, you are on mute, Raji.
I guess now I'm audible.
Yes.
Okay, great. Sorry for the technical glitch. I think my Zoom got crashed. All right, so without further ado, let's start. So I'm going to speak about the AI in the attack simulation today. My name is Ranjit Mewada. I'm a technical director at Cymulate. Basically, I want to talk about how AI can create different opportunities for your security teams. It can be your offensive team or defensive team, how they can utilize to go ahead and launch different sort of attacks against their controls and validate their security. So basically, AI or a generative AI, what we are expecting, from the AI, what security team should actually, get from the AI, right? The quick answer we get is that definitely the automation part where we can skip a lot of technicality where we don't want to get into much of a depth, but let's immediately try and identify what are different threats which are there and how we can simulate against our security control. So we want to automate those processes to immediately get the insights. AI is good because lots of data you can throw at the AI and AI can immediately give you the insight about where you should be focusing, what all different findings you have, which you should be prioritizing, and so on and so forth. And definitely the user experience where AI can help you by doing a few click and you can identify what are threat actors right now using and how you can simulate in your environment without even having a much more technical depth. Today's blue team members usually they face this issue because they don't have much of knowledge about how the attackers are doing different sort of attacks in terms of the techniques. They don't have a time basically to go and learn those things. Rather, they use different methodology like pen testing, red teaming to go and identify gaps at that defensive security layer, right? Now, how AI will help you? So basically, AI can now help you to breach all these gaps by implementing exposure validation. Exposure validation is the method where you validate each and every control which you have throughout your organization. It can be cloud, it can be on-premise, it can be any security controls which you have deployed. So we will be talking about all these, line items. So basically, how you can focus on the business needs based on that, what attacks you can perform using AI, how you can adapt to the new threats using AI, how you can customize different, attack which you want to perform, you want to improve the red teaming exercise internally, the insight and the prioritization and the remediation exposure based on what you have already assessed, what output you have received, from the attacks which you have performed. So let's start with the focus challenge. Let's say my team does not have a resources. This is a problem, statement where my team cannot manage another security product, and they are unable to decide what to do with it. Every time there are new defensive mechanism we are implementing, next gen firewall, next gen EDR, XDR. But if you populate a lot of things, on top of few resources which you have, they will not be able to focus, right? That's where AI will come and help you in the way where you can use AI guided, security validation strategy. How your security controls are currently configured. Now the question will be like what you want to attack. You don't want to attack everything which is there, from the attacker perspective. You have your industry, you have set of primary controls. What are your goals? How your technology stack looks like, right? What your deployment strategy? Do you have a different deployment at the branch level or at the head office level, and so on and so forth? Are you doing any sort of compliance? Are you following any frameworks? So those things will be answered by the AI itself, right? So this is one part. We will see all these demo, one by one after the slides. So let's move to the next part. After focus, you want to adapt. Adapt basically you want to adopt different sort of attacks which are running wild right now. In today's news, there can be a new ransomware running around the globe. If there can be new threat actor with new techniques which are running, right? Definitely, Cymulate platform is updated, every day. 24-hour is the SLA. But let's say you want to test it out in between something. So how you can utilize, different AI methodologies. So that's where AI power, attack planner can help you. So you just give, let's say, a URL which belongs to some adversary. Somebody have written a blog about it. I mentioned few attacks and the techniques. So those you can just put a URL to the AI, and AI will analyze complete blog and create assessment out of it, and you can immediately go and test against your security control. So this is one way where the new threats which are running, and you want to immediately validate your security controls. Immediately you'll get the output. Based on that, we can go ahead and do the mitigation. Next part is the customization, right? My team does not have a skill to create complex attack. I have SOC team, I have a defensive team, they are doing day-to-day activity. I have IT team members. I don't have much more large team for the security analyst, and I want to do the more advanced attack. I want to validate what all different advanced attack can be possible, right? To answer that, again, AI can give you a customized testing. You can type what you want to execute. Let's say as a red teamer or a pen tester, maybe you want to do a basic, let's say nmap scan, find out the ports, and then you utilize maybe let's say mimikatz to dump the credential, and by combining together you can do maybe a lateral movement over SMB port which you have identified, and so on and so forth. So basically AI can customize all these things for you. Any person who have the idea about the tools names, the protocols, you just type it down there inside the AI, and AI can generate from the text which you are providing. So we saw the AI can produce the attack from the blog as a reference. Second part, the customization, where you can ask AI to customize very specific attack. We will see a live demo as well. And then the next part will be, okay, after running the assessment or the attacks, you have the output. So you need insight. So now AI, next challenge is that my team wants to, understand the data. Or maybe you want to present the complete data which you have executed to a higher management, right? Rather than going through each and every report, then analyze and then understand what basically I should be focusing. I can just quickly ask AI, okay, tell me the top 10 findings which I should be focusing, right? So immediately, based on that suggestion, I will be provided by an AI based on the results which you have already received from the attacks which you have performed, right? And the next part is the remediation. So you can ask AI, okay, how I can go ahead and do the remediation, right? If I have bypass email gateway, or maybe I have bypass something on the endpoint by running indirectly something on the endpoint and exfiltrate the data. So how my each control can help me, and what exactly configuration I should be doing? Do we have any rules or not, right? So that can also be automated. You can automatically push the IOCs if those are bypassed based on the threat actors, or you can create different rules based on the behavior of it. So if I'm, let's say for an attacker is executing something on the endpoint, but not directly. He's scheduling a task. That task will launch PowerShell, and maybe that will launch another, sort of malicious behavior, can be ransomware or a lateral movement, and so on and so forth. So how this behavior can be, mitigated in my environment? Can I detect it or not? So those remediation can also be, identified from the AI planner. So I'll move to the demo, and at the end we will have a question. So we will start with the focus. What exactly we want to validate? So there is a attack planner which we can ask AI. Okay, what should I be testing? We will adapt based on the latest threats. So I will provide a URL and see what AI can generate for me. I will customize few attack based on my text. We'll see the insight and the remediation. So I'll just stop sharing. I'll reshare my screen with the account. Just a moment. I hope my screen is visible. Amit, can you confirm?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, great. Yeah. All right, so this is the Cymulate platform. This is the main dashboard. On the top right-hand side, I have this Ask AI feature. So let's start with the focus part of it. So what I will do, I will ask AI how I should go ahead and plan something. So I have a validation strategy over here. I will click on the validation strategy. Now AI, okay, it will ask me a few questions. Okay, hi, right? He is asking me, hi there. Okay, you want to validate something. He wants to understand my environment and what exactly I want to test. He's giving me some example also, like email gateway or the IPS, EDR proxy. So let's say I want to test EDR. I will type EDR, maybe antivirus. I will say firewall and proxy. I press enter. AI will analyze, based on what input I have put. And here you can see, okay, great. This is what you want to validate. So he understood what scope and what I'm targeting right now, which control I want to target. And then he's asking me, which industry does your organization operates in? This is, because the AI can now, specifically find out what all attacks can happen for my organization, so I can perform those attacks, right? I don't want to launch, thousands and 10,000s of different attack and see whether I'm, vulnerable or exposed to the attack or not. But let's say if I'm in a, banking environment, right? So I can say, okay, banking, I'm from the banking sector, and what all threat actors are there who will attack me, right? Next question is asking me, okay, which operating system you are using? So on bank, I'm using Windows and Mac, just for an example. And then he also confirmed, okay, fine, you are using Windows and Mac OS. These are the controls. Additionally, he's asking me whether any cloud providers I'm using or not. Okay, so if I have a presence in a cloud, I can say yes or no based on that. Let's say, for example, I do have a cloud. I'm using AWS. I'm using some EC2 instance over there, hosting my application. So next question is, okay, he understood, and he's next asking me, do you have any web application which is hosted on AWS? I will say yes, I do have web applications hosted over there. So now based on that, he will analyze my queries, combining together from the backend. There are millions and millions of different executions which are available, and based on that, he will craft different sort of attack. Next, he's asking me, okay, you use AWS and you have a web application. Could you share the size of the security operation team? Now he's asking me, okay, if I execute something, how fast I'm going to get, mitigated. He's asking me how big my team is so that they can address. Maybe I can say, okay, I have 5 guys who are handling SOC and then pen testing and vulnerability management and so on and so forth. At the end, he's saying, okay, thanks. And then he's asking if you're, following any sort of compliance framework. So yes, I'm in a banking sector. So maybe I can say PCI DSS. So PCI, and because I'm in cloud, I can also say SOC 2, enter. So basically is understanding what is my requirement, what I'm targeting, how big my team is, how fast I can go ahead and mitigate certain issues. So based on what I've given as an input, he's compiled everything. This is my profile. Everything looks okay. He's asking me, is anything you want to adjust? No, so I'm like, all good. Okay, so based on that, now he will go back, he will analyze, he will filter, lots of different attacks which are possible for my industry as a banking sector, financial sector, which we can see over here. I'm going to target Windows and Mac OS. I have a presence in AWS with the application hosted, and definitely I'm following the PCI, compliance and with the SOC 2 for the cloud. So what he did, he created a summary for me, okay, based on what I've provided. He's telling me, okay, you're going to, validate all these security controls. These are the APT groups, which are mostly targeting the banks. So he's also mentioning those APT groups. Operating system, which I have mentioned, the AWS hosted, and attack scenario is going to give me 100 scenarios, which are distributed across the MITRE framework. And based on that, yeah, I think this is all good. I can just go ahead and click generate the template, right? As soon as I click on generate the template, now we have created, template. You can see banking sector. I am redirect to the another page where I have the templates. The banking sector with the AWS control, right? This is the information. He have already tagged lots of, different techniques and tactics which are, applicable for me. Different APT groups I can see over here. What all security controls I'm going to validate. And this scenario page, I can see what all different scenarios I'm going to perform, right? Different ransomware, I can see, file download, malicious file download, uh, different executions. So there are lots of, executions which, ransomware and worm they have provided. Now, this is one way I can just go ahead and click, okay, create the assessment. I'm going to target, this is my environment. I will select the environment. Okay. Let's say this is the default environment. I have my system available. I'm going to target Mac and Windows. I don't have Mac agent available right now, so I'll just select Windows, select next, and launch the assessment. Right. That's about it. This is how I can plan my strategy. From knowing nothing, AI asked me 100 questions. Based on that, I've given my inputs, and he crafted a complete very specific assessment which I can perform on my organization. Let's take the next part where we are going to confirm about the how we can adopt this to the next level, right? So what I will do, I will now go to the AI again, right? This time in the attack planner, I have different options. So I will go to the attack planner. AI is asking me, okay, kindly share me the text or URL to generate the advanced scenario, right? So basically what I will do, I have one, medium link over here. Let me see if I can open that. Okay, this is Akira ransomware. So there is some discussion going on, some explanation is given, some MITRE framework related details and TTP values are given, right? What I will do, I'll just copy this. I will paste inside my AI chat and I'll ask him to analyze it, right? So AI will go back to that website. He will disassemble the story about what is the blog about. He will pick and choose different commands or different tools which I mentioned in the blog. He will also check whether the AI have any sort of execution based on the TTPs or the techniques and tactics which are mentioned there. And then it will create, different sort of attack directly from the information which we have gathered. So basically, for me, I want to save my time, right? As a latest thread, this is the latest thread which is running. I don't want to go and read the blog. I don't want to go and manually create the attack. I'll just give the URL to the AI, and AI will do the hard, heavy work for me, right? So here now it is actually assembling the final template. Within few seconds, it will give me a link to the template. I can just click on that link and then go ahead and see what all different executions, which are provided. So let's wait for a couple of seconds. It's almost done. So I'll just scroll back on the top. You can see Cymulate AI, attack planner. This time I'm going to use different execution. So based on the blog, he analyzed, okay, you can use this particular execution. It is 70% matching. Phishing attachment, VB script, 90% matching. Link file, LNK file, 90%. So I already have lots of executions in my environment. AI is just going back and checking whether the same execution can be reused whether it is relevant to the blog which you have posted. And based on that, he have compiled the chain execution as well. So individual execution plus chain, here is the link. I'll just click on it. It will redirect to the advanced scenario. And then it will show me what all different attacks he have created, right? So let's wait it to load. I just click on that link. If you guys have any question, please put in the chat. At the end, we will answer those questions. Yes, so the AI have already created the Akira ransomware. You can see lots of templates you have created. I'll click one of these, and I can just click on the create assessment out of it. So now it will show me what executions you have mentioned, right? First, I asked AI how I can plan what I should be testing, because I don't know anything. Now I know something. This is the link, and I want to test those executions. Here are the different execution on the right hand side. He have already compiled lots of executions for me. I can scroll down. I can see some PowerShell based, some Firefox based, and some process terminating, and so on and so forth. Some exfiltration, SSH tunneling, and all those different execution he have added over here, right? So these are all attacks which are automatically crafted by AI. I can also go ahead and see in the advance what exactly the chained attack will look like. So you can see it's going to abuse Microsoft Graph, obfuscate the data using Nmap, scan for some ports. Then there are some TLS message which we will encrypt, decrypt, and then do the HTML smuggling as part of the attack which is possible, right? I just have to save it and launch the attack, and I'll have the result. Based on that, I can go and mitigate, right? So this is the part where I can adapt to the latest threat. I don't have to wait for somebody from my red teamers to create assessment for me, because he will have to go and understand the complete attack, and then he will be able to do it, right? I can just provide the URL and get it done. The next part, let's do the AI with the different customization. Now, let's say I know a bit more than what I exactly want to test. So again, I will go to the attack planner. This time I can just type a text. This is my scenario I want to perform. And based on my keywords, AI will generate some executions. So let's say a credential dumping using mimicards. This is the tool. You can dump the access memory if you have a local admin or a system privilege. Then do lateral went over SMB protocol. That's it. So basically, it will go back to the executions which I have. It will try to understand what are tools or the techniques which I have mentioned, and he will assemble the chained attack scenario or the individual attacks which are available. So let's wait couple of seconds. He's going to give me some ready-made attack plan, and based on that we can launch the attack. Meanwhile, let me see the chat. Okay, it's almost done. You can see how fast AI is. I don't have to wait. So basically, he found out a few executions. So one is 100% match, and second is 95% matched using sharp map executable for the lateral movement over SMB. Here is the complete description about the chain attack. I'll just click on this URL. It will redirect me back to the advanced scenario with my user template. And then there I can again see what executions he have created. First, I asked AI, okay, I don't know anything. Show me for my organization what can be attacked, what I can validate, which controls I can validate based on what controls I have, based on my team size, right? If I'm following any sort of compliance framework and so on and so forth. Next, I asked him, okay, generate template from the URL. Somebody have written a blog about it. Third, I'm asking based on my understanding about the organization, can we do this attack or not? Here you can see it created a template. There are 12 different scenarios inside it. So here I can go ahead and modify them. If I have to give some sort of a target to do a lateral movement, like put IP address or host name, that I can provide, or any specific credential I want to use, that also I can check based on the chained attack which are created over here. So give it a moment, it's loading at the back. Meanwhile, let me try and see if there are any questions in the chat. Yeah, there are a few questions. We will answer those questions. Yes. So the screen is loaded. You can see he created lots of different executions again. There are also chained execution. If I mouse over, I can see the chained. I can click on advanced. And this time he created, okay, do the online credential dumping using Mimikatz. You can also see what command I'm going to run exactly from where I'm going to execute. What all chained attack will be possible over here. I'm abusing some PowerShell in between wdigest using credential to invoke the Mimikatz. So both attack invoke Mimikatz using PowerShell, as well as the first one where I'm directly dropping the file mimikatz.exe. So from binary as well as the script from the PowerShell I can execute. So multiple execution here provided. I can just again go ahead and launch this attack, and based on that I will identify the gaps in my security controls. Now the next two parts, all this attack, now I want to know the insight about what different things have executed.
Just a moment. Again, some issue. Just give us a moment. We'll get back to them. So we have got some questions, interesting questions from different people. Till that time, anyone uh, who has got any other questions, definitely you can connect to us. You can ask any questions. And regarding the pricing, as you Arun said, if you will definitely have a discussion regarding the price and everything. So we'll share a link uh, after this session, so where you can ask for any questions regarding the pricing or the commercials. So yeah, okay.
I guess
So Ranjit,
I'm back
yeah,
with
so you can
me.
continue.
Unfortunately, it's second time it got crashed. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so I was at the last stage where you can ask AI. I'll just continue quickly, and then we'll go back to the questions. So I can ask AI to show me this summary. So inside summary, I can click, and I can go to the specific assessment or any prevention, detection, drift detection, specific to the lateral movement or ransomware resilience, or maybe I want to present it to the organization higher management. I can say, okay, overall security, posture dashboard. So based on that, show me what all different things, which are there. So it will give me insight as well as the mitigation plan. So I can, wait for, this to load. Yeah. Here you can see key takeaways. So this is the insight, what all different things he have identified. He is telling me, okay, web gateway, there are 22,000 different identified as a inbound traffic and outbound traffic which are getting bypassed, maybe at the the email gateway level, what all different protections are missing, and so on and so forth. So this is high level summary about what all controls are failing, any CV related things I have to mitigate or not, and the actionable remediation. So remediation is telling me, okay, web gateway, what do you have to do? You have to block the malicious URL. If there are any file types or MIME types, I'm unable to block. There are 9,000 plus unwanted malicious files which were downloaded. So I have to check whether I'm validating the MIME type or not. Basically, this is where the extensions are being renamed, true file type detection or MIME type. The .exe file, I'm just renaming to the document file, right? And can I still download it or not? I'm trying to bypass the control. Web application file, I have to block certain, payloads which are getting bypassed. Email gateway, what I should be doing. Network segmentation, what I should be doing, and what I have to prioritize. So these are the high level summary which are available. And the next part where you can ask AI to basically give you the complete rules as part of it. So let me go back to the the assessment. So for example, I've already executed one of the assessment. I can say, okay, For this particular assessment, I'm dumping Elsa's memory with one of the DLL, which is part of the operating system. I'll say, okay, go to the findings. It will tell me what all findings I have. So some of them were prevented. I can see this one is prevented. This one was detected. So prevented plus detected. There was event also triggered. This is problem for me because it was not detected, got executed. There was no event or alert triggered. So I can go inside more information. So this execution, what exactly happened, it will show me the tags and everything related to the APT group or NHT framework or CIS benchmark, whether I'm compliant to those or not. Plus, it is asking me, okay, you can go ahead and block this particular thing using the EDR rule, right? So very vendor related. Okay, this is the way, basically the rules are. So there is a universal, EDR mitigation rule which says if you find anything in the command line which contains run DLL32 and the process command contains the com svcs.dll with the mini dump as a command, right? This indicates that somebody is trying to load a DLL file using run DLL32, and I'm actually asking him to mini dump the process. So which process? So and the process command line contain the elsas. That's where you dump the memory, and offline you can use Mimikatz also to recover the credential or the access token which are there from the Active Directory. So I can go ahead and, okay, I have, let's say, Palo Alto. So it will generate the rules for me. I can just copy and paste and get it mitigated. Or maybe I'm using CrowdStrike. So this is the rule, you can just copy paste in the CrowdStrike and get it blocked. So basically you can go ahead and generate different rules and, get it mitigated. In terms of IOC, if I'm just downloading the IOC, simple mitigation, just go ahead and block the IOC's hash values, which are available as a signature, based attacks. So yeah, that's about it. So now I think let's go to the questions. I'll stop sharing. Yeah, Amit, you have anything to add?
Yeah, actually, that was really interesting, and thank you very much, first of all, Rajit, for this beautiful session, right? And we definitely, I hope everyone got very good insight about the thing. Thank you for that incredible info in an informative session. Now, I would also love to hear from the people, from the attendees, so that we can get some understanding on what are their main challenges, and how we can have something better solution we can provide any of the people for the specific pain challenges. So we have some of the questions. I also have one question, a few questions, but before that, we had one question, so I would definitely like to highlight on that. That from Arun, he says, asked, can AI simulate a ransomware attack also?
Yes, yes, definitely. So just now I can ask AI, okay, create a ransomware scenario, but ransomware in terms of what you want to validate. You want to validate whether ransomware signatures are being blocked, or you want to actually execute the ransomware. So both can be executed and created by the AI. You just have to ask.
Great. So I hope that answers your question. Next, we have question from another question, I believe, from Arun also only. Can this also do the unknown signatures, malware, infection attacks?
So I think from unknown signature malware attacks, maybe you're referring to the tactics or the techniques as per the MITRE framework, because if you know the signature, definitely antivirus also knows the signature, other vendors also knows the signature. But I think you're referring to this behavior of it. For example, let's say there is a APT group who's spreading ransomware, and that ransomware uses Word, and within Word there is a macro which maybe uses MSHTA to load the .hta file and execute something on the disk, or from the memory. So yeah, that behavior definitely you can execute through the Cymulate. It's already there. And if you want to combine and create your own attacks, that can be possible through EIS.
So I'll also ask one question that I had, that most of the times we get from different people, from different clients, regarding the false positives, right?
Mhm.
So how can organizations ensure that AI-powered attack simulations do not introduce biases, like they result in excessive false positives or false negatives, that potentially leading to missed threats.
Correct. So basically, there are no false positive in Cymulate because this AI is basically generative AI. So it's not publicly available. And it is only using the data which we already have. So for example, if I want to send, malicious email to you, basically my target as a, attack simulation is to bypass the email gateway control. If I send you 100 emails and let's say out of those 100 emails, 10 emails are getting bypassed. So those are the 10 ways I bypassed your email. I'm not sending 100 exe files. I'm sending 100 different combinations of the email. So I will send exe as a one email. Second email, maybe I will hide exe inside a zip or .7z or .rar file, or it can be a calendar invite, which you will have a document and within that. So all the combination I'm testing it, out over here. Likewise, I only have a two result out of it, right? Either the email will come to your inbox. That means if you receiving the email in your inbox, the email gateway controls are bypassed already. If the email is blocked, you will never receive the email. That is one part. Similar way, if I download something from your system, which is behind your proxy, the organization which you have deployed the proxy and the firewall, and if my connection to phishing URL or CNC is blocked, so I again have a two result. Either I will be able to access it, I'll be able to download it or not, pass or fail. So there is no false positive. If I execute something, let's say ransomware using
Mhm.
PowerShell, for example, so PowerShell, I was able to launch yes or no, pass or fail. Next stage, because of PowerShell, maybe one payload got executed. It executed and then encrypted some file as a ransomware, yes or no, pass or fail. So for each and every
Right.
simulation, I only have two answers, yes or no. And based on that, the reports are generated. So there are no false positives.
Okay, got it, got it. So we have P. Jamima has raised hand. So if you can also you can ask the question in the chat box. Please, you can type your question out there. Till that time, we have one question from Vikas. Does Simulate support testing with custom scenarios, or does it only use pre-configured attack simulations?
Both are available. So pre-configured as a template, which are available. Plus you
Mhm.
can customize your own. So you have a complete open platform where you can script, you can upload your own binaries, own script, and create executions out of it.
Okay, great. And how we have how do you price the same? So pricing that we can discuss later. What types of attacks are most likely to target by organizations? This is asked by Mr. Sanjay D'Souza.
So again, you can ask AI. Basically, AI will tell you what organization you fall under. Maybe if you're banking, based on that, it will suggest. If you are into, finance, or maybe you are into, some organization where the controls are different. So basically, you specify the organization, you specify the security controls you have. Based on that, it will create and give you the answer. Because let's say if you are in a banking and you don't have enough controls, maybe
Mhm.
you just have a perimeter controls and internal controls are not there. There are more chances, for attacker to get inside and execute something. Likewise, if the mature bank is there, they have a lot of different control. Apart from defensive, they are also doing the detection using SIM solutions and so on and so forth. So it completely depends on the security controls which you have. And the organization are being targeted by the APD group. So those will be suggested automatically by the AI.
Okay. And the same, he has asked another question. What are the most critical systems and data that needs to be protected?
So everything is critical. You consider your endpoint, you consider your email gateway control, you have a DLP solution, everything is there to protect. If we rely just on a firewall, a few decades back, the organization just used to put, the firewalls, that's it, basic internet connection, which is allowed, that's about it. There are no antivirus or the EDR or XDR, that time they were present. So the idea here is that those controls are already getting bypassed. That's the reason why we have deployed defense in depth. We have the email, web, endpoint, WAF. On the endpoint you have DLP also. Network level you have IDS, IPS also. Firewall to segment different VLAN. So everything is critical where your data resides. Let's say you non-critical system got compromised, which is part of a domain. As a as a salesperson, somebody hacked into my system. Indirectly, he has access to my Active Directory because from my system, he can access my user token and he can try different attacks. He can do curb roasting because he just need a domain join system to do curb roasting, or indirectly he can, relay something from my system to someone else and gather. So there are, n numbers of different possibilities which are available.
And
So to
specifically with
protect,
the
you have to protect everything.
and specifically with the number of APIs and number of DLLs and number of updates that is getting every day. So no one knows with what update or what thing comes the ransomware or the attacks can happen, right?
Correct. The
So
most important part over here, rather than what should be protected, you should be thinking more about whether your current security controls are tested and validated or not, because that will give you an indirect answer. Okay, the controls are blocking everything. Whatever you are protecting are protected.
yeah, whatever is protected, that must be 100%. Then we can
100%.
think of protecting a little bit of here and there. Definitely. So we have another question from Arun that report template structures as per standards, and do we have service model?
Reports are there. Reports can be generated into CSV format, which is more easy for anyone to, filter out. And then if you want to present, we do have a PDF format, executive and technical, both can be generated. You can also pick and choose, okay, in CSV also, I don't require unnecessary information. You can select, okay, these are the 5, 10 different columns I need and export it. So you'll get the accordingly data inside it.
Great. So any other questions that anyone else has, or Arun, if you, I hope that answers your question. If you have any further questions regarding this, please uh, type in the chat box so that we can answer them. And if anyone else also has any question, please let us know. Right. So till that time, I have one last question from my end. How can AI attack simulations be continuously updated to reflect new and emerging threats without requiring means we can say constant human interventions?
It's already there in the platform. So basically, if you see, I have generative AI. I
Mhm.
don't have to manually update. Even my researchers now don't have to do much of a work because they have created AI in a such a way where everything is modular in a backend. Based on the modules ask, and then the attacks are generated. That is one part of it. Second is basically you can just provide a URL, and based on the URL, AI itself will analyze completely everything there, and then it will update it over there. So you get the the latest threats, also latest scenarios also, which you can do it.
Yeah. So thanks. It was very informative and nice demonstration. Can we have your connect details? Definitely, I was going to that part only. We'll definitely give you the connect details and everything. And another question we have is this platform doing red team exercise in live environment?
Everything is done in live environment. If I'm doing something in virtual environment, I'm not testing the actual environment. Attackers
Right.
are directly attacking your actual environment. If you're doing something in a lab environment, it's not a real attack. The attack simulation has to be on a live environment so that you get the visibility of how your live environment is reacting to it in terms of mitigation, protecting, plus if you have a detection control in terms of getting events alerts generated as well.
Great. So is it like PT tool?
PT is very scope oriented. So PT red teaming is a traditional way of doing it. This is more advanced in terms of each and every combination. So for example, if I give you a simple way where a PT, you have, let's say, set of IP, you target it, you achieve your goal, and you will report it and submit it. It's a time consuming activity. And you are trying to identify what is already known, to the environment. I mean, to a complete world. Basically using some sort of scanner to identify versions. Based on version, you are getting different vulnerabilities and so on and so forth. This is unknown of unknown, right? In a breach and attack simulation, when you validate your control, you are targeting what you can't visualize right now. You are just assuming that your controls will protect you, and unless you do the attack, and then you validate whether controls are being correctly configured or not. So this tool will make VAPT and red teamer's job difficult, but here in depth also it will cover. So the width of attack. So maybe a PT guy will exploit one vulnerability and move further to the next target, what he wants to achieve or reach. Here I will go for defensive depth for each security control. In what all ways I can execute something on an endpoint. In what all ways I can exfiltrate the data outside of the organization. In what all ways I can do the lateral movement for the system, right? So all the combinations are done, and in an automated way, very fast, click, launch. Within 2 hours, you'll get the report.
Okay, great. So I hope that answers your question. So, P. Pamima, sorry, P. Jamima, you have some question. If it's yes, please write yes so that we can allow you to ask any question if you have. Please let us know so that if you want to speak something. No? Okay, no issues. So that's it. I think each and every question is answered. Another question, clientele reference list.
I think client reference link. So all top
Client.
banks are already using it.
Okay.
We
So
can share those
definitely.
details separately.
Yes. So, what we will do, we will be having a, if you want to have a detailed discussion around that or a detailed demo or maybe you want to evaluate this tool, definitely we will be providing you a link in the chat box. Please let us, please connect on that. We will be definitely guiding you through all the questions and a detailed demonstration around this tool where you can ask as many questions and you can get that answers as per your convenience, right? And thank you very much, Ranjit. That was really an enriching discussion on AI in attack simulation. A big thanks to our expert Ranjit Mewada for sharing his knowledge and insights. Before we wrap up, I would remind everyone that cybersecurity is a continuous journey, and staying ahead of threat requires proactive measures like AI-driven attack simulations. If you would like to stay updated on more such webinars, be sure to follow us, follow Metionic on our LinkedIn platform, and we can connect from there also. And once again, everyone for joining us today. Stay safe, stay secure, and have a great day ahead. And please, if you want to go through this tool, please open the link and you can register yourself for a detailed demonstration of this specific tool, Cymulate. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining this session.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Ranjit. Have a great day.
Thank you.